All right, guys, welcome back to the World Championship Series here for Europe Season Premier 2, as we now have on the line with us the victor of Group A, Mr. NRS Walmu. How are you doing, man?
Good, good. Winning is always so nice.
Yeah, congratulations, and it's fantastic to have you on Skype with us once again. Seems to be an always thing with you, as this is your 4th consecutive time in the Premier League, and again, another performance into the round of 16, so congratulations on that. So for a lot of people who may not have read an article which popped out today with you, you were quoted on saying that you want at least a top 4 finish within this season. Can you expand on that a little bit more? What are your hopes and dreams for this season?
Well, I always want to do better and better. So last season I was top 8, even though I aimed last season top 4 already. If you remember, I think I said last time that I will get top 4 last season, but I failed. So I will just do it this season.
Fair play, fair play. Coming back to the games that we just saw before, I mean, aside from the Nexus plays that you were going for with the sentry pushes out there, last game against Stefano, that cannon rush, haven't really seen that too much. Have you been playing with that a lot? Is that something you've been keeping in your back pocket? Can you just tell us a little bit about it?
I actually saw MVP Tails using it in GSL quite long ago, and then I just one time, I think I was streaming or something, I just tried it out for fun. Then I realized, oh, this is actually quite good strategy. And then I tried it out a couple of more times and I never lost with it, so I just decided to do it.
Stefano should have been watching Walmu's stream.
Seemingly.
Final question from me, just before we say goodbye. So you're playing well again. Are you starting to struggle at all with the balance between school and not? I mean, I asked you this last season, but is it still completely fine? You're happy with the position you're in, and you're able to do both well? Study in school, which you are still in university, and also play StarCraft at this level.
Yeah, it depends how much courses I take. Since I'm going a little bit slower university from normal, so I can manage it a little bit. And now it's quite very easy for me at the moment. At the beginning of next year, it will be a little bit more tough, but well, most of the time it's quite easy, but if you have to travel a lot, then it gets a little bit difficult. That's the only problem, really. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, traveling is the biggest problem, but otherwise it's just fine.
Okay, well, we're going to have to cut the short now, Walmu. So are there any last words that you'd like, or shout-outs that you'd like to give?
Well, just thanks to all my fans and my team and sponsors, Microsoft, Logitech. Yeah, and also thanks for Snoot and Bunny playing a couple of custom games with me today, so that helped also. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Awesome stuff. All right, we'll see you in Germany once again in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, now time to serious business, Kalaris. We have 2 players fighting to go up against Stefano. We have Nerchio and DeMusliM are ready to rock and roll down here in the lower bracket.
Yeah, so gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one because neither of these guys really want to go out. As you can see, how things have unfolded so far in Group A. Walmu advancing through. Now Stefano lays in wait
for the winner of this.
Yeah, EG versus Acer could be the same again if Nerchio goes through.
I would have to once again lean this much more in favor of Nerchio over DeMusliM. But DeMusliM, he knows how to play this matchup. Nerchio's going to play it quite standard, you'd imagine, the Zergling, Baneling, Mutalist style, maybe with a sprinkle of aggression here and there, which he does favor to do so, being an aggressive player. But DeMusliM knows what to do in this matchup.
Yep.
And in this matchup as a Terran player, all you have to do well is execute what you've got to do perfectly. As easy as that sounds.
All right, well, we'll find out if he can execute it perfectly as we get into our next series. First game is going to be on Frost. Nerchio plays against DeMusliM to find out who is unfortunately eliminated, but more importantly, who moves through to play against Stefano, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner here as our blue Terran. It is EG's DeMusliM. And then cross spawns over on the top left as our red Zerg. It's Acer Nerchio.
So with these 2 players fighting against each other here, Nerchio's always had a very good Zerg versus Terran. Always have. He's definitely, for me, the favorite here. But obviously everyone would like to see DeMusliM do well because he just hasn't done well in tournaments in a very long time.
It's been a long time.
So it would be nice to see him make his way through to the round of 16. He did accomplish the round of 16 once last year in WCS America, but this is his debut in Europe. And he is going to open up here with a 12 barracks. It shifted away from the 11 barracks once again. We did see 11 barracks, 11 gas almost every single time for the 3 Reapers. But Zerg players got so good at playing against it, or a lot better than they were. Terran players have kind of resorted going back to 12 again, which is a little bit more economically focused. And of course, you want to get 2 Reapers instead of 3, faster factory, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, you've always got to kind of balance it, and DeMusliM's, you know, leaning towards the more economy focus, which is nice. I like to see that, especially given the positions. I mean, it's going to always be difficult for one DeMusliM to ever put on pressure anyway, and even when the Reapers, by the time they get over there, Nerchio's going to be well set up.
I wonder how DeMusliM's going to approach this series. Is he going to play bio, or does he have some mech sprinkled into his play that he can use himself throughout this series? Mech is becoming, or at least versions of mech, are becoming more and more popular within this matchup, whether it be full-out mech, whether it be a good mix of Hellbats and Thors in your army, or whether you dedicate to like 3 factories worth of units, and also get Stim and Marines and get attack upgrades for your vehicles and also attack upgrades for your bio. A good mix of everything has been used a lot recently within this matchup.
Yeah.
Definitely very new. I think Liquid Bunny showed a style very similar to this in the Fragpipe Masters recently, which DeMusliM did commentate on. So he's definitely seen versions of this.
Yeah.
But he's been casting a lot in Fragpipe Masters, an online tournament if you didn't know. And you're not going to have that much time to practice around that too.
Nope.
Sure, you can practice a bit, but when you're casting quite a bit in the evenings and you're talking about 5-6 hours during the evenings, DeMusliM probably sleeps for 16 hours a day. Doesn't have much time left, so...
Well, he's a Brit, so we know.
Yeah, he sleeps a lot, DeMusliM.
But I think that also, I mean, you were talking about this kind of like mixture of bio into factory play. We actually saw it from Gumiho as well today in Pro League. A very, very interesting style, which has kind of a gradient to it of this bio that holds on strong, and then the transition into those 3 factory plays like you were mentioning. So it's certainly a terror if you can work it correctly. But it can be difficult.
No, Nerchio, fast layer. Really fast layer.
Yeah, you're right.
So his first 100 gas was dedicated to this. That is wild. That is insane. Really fast here. He cuts queen production off this and everything. This is a lot of resources thrown in an essence. This is an incredibly greedy approach from Nerchio to do this, especially cross positions where he's got absolutely no idea what DeMusliM's doing. But something we've talked about from DeMusliM a little bit is he does have a little bit of a predictable style where he plays very similar in all matchups, game in, game out. He's decided to go double gas, factory and Hellions. Factory and Starport, which is Hellions and also Banshee. And Alinga spotted it too. This is almost a directly... I mean, it's a direct counter. If he goes fast Mutilus off this against a player going Hellion Banshee, he creates a wall maybe with Evolution Chamber or something and a Spine Crawler. It's something that blind counters this.
Yeah, and you're right. We already mentioned it. There is that predictability factor. So Nerchio has clearly understood his opponent, anticipated his opponent.
It's either understood his opponent or has taken a big gamble and has rolled the dice and has hit the jackpot. Yeah. It's one of the two. And the reason why it's an automatic win, or a lot of the time, or a direct counter, is what anti-air is DeMusliM really going to have to protect himself? Because there's going to be a spine. There usually is going to be a wall off around the spine from Nerchio to help protect against Hellions and the Reapers. There's Queens out as well to protect. So what back at home will DeMusliM have to stop Mutilus before the 10-minute mark? Which is insanely fast.
Currently, there's 1 Marine out.
Yeah, exactly. And if he's going to play mech, if he takes a double gases soon on the natural, then he won't have anything. The engineering base starts soon. He's starting to click a little bit. Things are moving upstairs in DeMusliM's mind because he's like, where's the 3rd base? Why is there a spine? This is a fast muleless build. So the turrets are going to have to be built, and they're going to have to be positioned in pretty good position. So one in each mineral line, maybe one at the front door, maybe one around his production. You're talking like 4 missile turrets here.
It's big investment. Big investment. There's the 7 Mutalisks now on the way. Where are the missile turrets, though? Right now, it's there's nothing.
It's money he doesn't want to spend because it also screws the hell out of his build.
I mean, with this command center started now, this is where his build was focused to, right? But that was the money that was required to really set up the anti-air.
Well, he's got to get ready here.
If he just flew in and started work big,
his turret timing is pretty on spot, to be honest. It's pretty well timed here from DeMusliM. And he didn't get them too early. Banshee's going to slow this down a little bit as well because he's going to have to defend against it. To be honest, as much as this is a very good build against what's happening here, this is not working out, ideally here for Nerchio.
Yeah,
the turrets are everywhere. He's got about 4, is it?
Yep,
3, 4?
2 on the natural, 1 on the production line.
And that Banshee's got 9 kills, by the way, on the natural.
It's a good start here for DeMusliM.
It's a great start. These Mutalisks are just skipping everything. They're like, time to go do a lot of damage in the base of DeMusliM. And then all of a sudden there's just turrets everywhere. And he's like, oh, god damn. Yeah. And you can't kill turrets at this level. You need +1 attack. You need more than 8 Mutalisks here.
I mean, he could try and find a sweet spot to sit on this production, and he's looking for it. He certainly is.
Yeah.
But he's going to lose on Mutalisk.
The turret positioning's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's found a nice spot here. Oh, nope. Reached out again.
So confined. Oh, that one Mutalisk.
Yeah, 1 down.
He was too eager. Poor little guy.
And there are 4 Marines out right now. Not the best. And this is doing a lot of damage. This is why this build is called a direct counter.
Yeah.
And sometimes a blind counter to what's going on here. He's having to reposition all his barracks.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about how much he's invested into missile turrets and damage is still being done, that's how big a difference it is.
Think about if you compare both of them when it comes to their economy and upgrades. DeMusliM has 1 engineering bay. We've got 1 starting for Nerchio. Nerchio's gone 4 bases.
Yeah.
Nerchio's taken this advantage from this play and, running away with it a little bit.
Completely.
Sure, the Banshee got 9 kills, but these Mutalisks have got more damage done than 9 kills.
Losing that supply depot was big. He had a supply drop on that one. So that's quite the investment gone down the drain there for DeMusliM. And now, despite him getting that damage, as you mentioned before, and the Banshee's still being a little bit annoying, he does find this third, 4th base, whatever.
Yeah, this is really good from Nerchio. Just a nice build, nice strategy.
Good start. Good start for him. There is, of course, the 3rd command center still finished here for DeMusliM. But, again, he's going to have to find avenues to do damage and go up against this Ling Bane Muta style that Nerchio is going to have up and running. That it's going to be hard to really shut down for DeMusliM because it's just going to become overwhelming on these 4 bases.
Yeah, this is a really nice setup. And then I guess one added benefit of getting the spy so early is you get the upgrades really early too. He's actually targeted down the Marines here because he's got so many. He's going to have to abandon that location, and DeMusliM gets pushed back down to 70 supply, and it's rather one-sided so far this game.
Yep. DeMusliM has just been pushed back. Nerchio right now looking good, and he can now, with that +1 weapon, start to contend these missile turrets, especially the ones that are outlying so much so that the PVs can't get to it to repair. Maybe not the ones in the mineral lines. Maybe they'll take a little bit more firepower, but there you go. GG. Nerchio takes game number 1.
Nicely played out there from Nerchio, and he finds himself in prime position, just 1 game away from going up in the rematch against Stefano. And I think a lot of people would like to watch that. I think a lot of people would like to see the 2 EG players play against each other. But for me, I'd love to see the Nerchio Stefano rematch to see what Nerchio can readjust to tackle into Stefano's Suomos. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, as DeMusliM's still got a shot in this. Still got a shot, but if we talk, we talked about how that build is very good against what DeMusliM did. DeMusliM's going to feel a little bit of frustration from that first game. You can't help but be like, you chose to do this build without knowing exactly what I was going to do. You went on a hunch that I was going to play like I normally did, or you were assuming that's how it played out. And what happens if I didn't do that? Well, what if I didn't go cloak Banshees and Hellions at that? What happens if I started my barracks earlier? And
it being Frost, it being cross positions, it being so that the Reapers couldn't really get in to get the scouting because they were a little bit later there. Yeah. Everything really worked against DeMusliM.
DeMuslim's way.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, well, we're getting into game number 2 now. King Sage on Station is our map. Both of these guys are ready and good to go. So, but I think you're right. I think DeMusliM here, if he doesn't just say, all right, I mean, I call your bluff and just play normally again, like, and get blind countered for some reason by Nerchio once again. I think if he has a little bit of a change up, but also he'll be able to get scouting information a little bit better because it's easier to get over there with the initial Reapers and try and spot things out. So.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to get into the base here. With the Reapers, you can go from the left side or the right-hand side of the natural. There's also a sweet spot you can get into the main base too on a little cliff. So different ways to get the Reaper in there to have a look what's going on. But that seems to be the bane of all DeMusliM's losses I've seen in the past, is he doesn't know what's coming and the game's over before he knows it.
Well, let's get into game number 2 now. King Stage on Station is our map, as we have everyone loaded up and good to go. So, spawning down in the bottom right-hand corner here as our red Zerg. It is Acer Nerchio, currently 1 game up. And up to the top left-hand corner here as our blue Terran, it is EG's DeMusliM.
Making his debut today within the WCS.
Yep. And don't be fooled, guys. It is DeMusliM, not Stefano here, currently.
Yeah. Just 2 EG players sharing the same ID, not team. But yeah, so thinking about the approach from this one, Nerchio's Overlord, look at that. Nerchio is like, all right, I'm just going to check to see if there's anything on this right-hand side, if there is going to be any fast Reaper play. As mentioned, just where the Overlord went, there's a little cliff where a Reaper can jump into the main base. So there are builds where we do see Reapers being proxied on that right-hand side, so the Reapers can get into the main base nice and fast. I think when Flash played Life, it wasn't quite that position, but Flash used Proxy Reaper on this map and got great effect from it. Simply because the natural to main base is quite far. There's a lot of non-creep area for the Reapers to run around and do damage. And you can usually find yourself a good spot. So Nerchio was aware of that potential.
Oh, wow. So DeMusliM's changing things up a little bit completely.
Yeah, I got to play a little bit greedy here.
Yeah. I think this is probably his best way forward. I think Nerchio going up against DeMusliM feels pretty darn confident. Because, I mean, checking with that Overlord on the right-hand side, he's like, right, as long as there's another proxy here, I'm okay if my Overlord gets over there a little bit later. And I think he's going to be feeling pretty set against DeMusliM, even if he does get over there and see that command center. I don't think he'll be too fussed.
Well, throughout all of StarCraft 2, its lifespan of 4 years now, DeMusliM has lost to Nerchio 5 times and has only beaten him once.
Yeah.
They've played 6 times. Nerchio's won 5. It's a convincing record. It's not super high because they haven't really played in the same regions for the majority of their career. If you think that DeMusliM's lived in America and Nerchio's been here in Europe. But here they are meeting again in 2014. And I have to echo what you say. Nerchio is probably already thinking about how he's going to break Stefano's Swarm host. But that's where DeMusliM needs to capitalize on the fact that he's been overlooked a little bit in this series.
Has Nerchio ever been to a tournament in America? I don't think he ever has he? Like, I don't think he's been to an MLG. I don't think so. Anyway.
Maybe a random IPL. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
By the way, DeMusliM's definitely pulling a Marine King Prime on us here. With going 3 command centers, incredibly greedy before anything else. I think he's saying to himself here, I need a bit of a boost. I'm going to gamble a little bit like he did to me prior, and I need a bit of help here. And so he's asking for help by cutting out basically the factory really early on, any units, any bunkers, and is very open to just dying to any units at this moment. But if he doesn't get attacked, then he's going to reap the benefits of this, and what he's hoping to achieve is that he can move into the mid-game with quite a powerful economy.
Poor little SCV does end up dying. This Zergling would really love to gather some information some way, but it's not going to be doable. Likewise, there aren't really Overlords in the right positions just yet for Nerchio to fully spot this out. There's one moving up to the top here to see if he can spot like a command center or well, anything in the main would be nice. Not a command center. He wouldn't be anticipating that quick one. But now Nerchio's just going to establish himself as third base, and he hasn't really seen any pressure moving out.
No.
So.
And you can't really read into this build too much either of what DeMusliM's doing. Could be anything behind closed doors. To come back to what you said, Nerchio's been to America once. And it was, in fact, an IPL tournament, IPL 5 to be exact.
Oh, wow, okay. There you go.
See that?
There you go.
Picked a pin out of a haystack.
Good job. But that was an interesting thought, because I just never really
Yeah,
kind of piqued my
doesn't
interest
really
before.
travel very much to America.
Yeah.
He's fine with winning tournaments here. So we have all 4 gases taken again here from Nerchio. Which feels a little bit... he doesn't really know what's going on. And if he is playing against Banshees again, it would be nice to get Overseers out, more so than trying to rush out a Spire. It's more probably just for the Overseer. Probably, obviously, going to get the Spire too, but... Yo.
Do you reckon he could read into the fact that there's 3 mules there?
Yes, you can, but will he is a different thing, because DeMusliM could have messed up on his mule cooldowns, right? He could have had 150 energy across 2 command centers. Yes, a good player can, but it's not something that you kind of look at to focus on.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of other things right now.
Yep. Getting his layer up, getting extra drones out, getting that 3rd base fully established. Is that drone still there? No, he's not. Okay, he moved. So for now, I mean, Nerchio, the thing is from DeMuslim's position, yes, he's playing greedy, and yes, he's getting away with it. But Nerchio equally is just fine. Oh, okay, he lost a few drones.
Nerchio's not quite as greedy as DeMuslim's been. DeMuslim's just gotten away with everything. 3 command centers without any units into double engineering bay before any additional production after the must-get factory and barracks. Like, that is...
Pretty greedy.
And the 3rd base is even greedy. Like, DeMusliM is playing probably the greediest greed you can do, which is very Devil Terran-esque of him. To be able to pull off here. Nerchio, on the other hand, is playing a bit of a more cautious opening with going for the fast layer here, which gives him the ability to go up towards the Overseer in case there are Banshees, which DeMusliM is fond of. And then it's gone over to his 1-1 upgrades. He's a little bit behind in economy, Nerchio, and he's a little bit behind in upgrades because of the way that DeMuslim's played this. And if he gets some good hits here, he's going to be even further behind.
Yeah, that Queen wasn't focusing down on the Hellions whatsoever, but they get completely caught in the back of these mineral lines. They still get a lot of kills, though. 13 workers have gone down during all of this.
So if you are a DeMusliM fan, you should be rather happy in the position that your player has got himself into. He's gotten away with being a little bit cheeky, and he's in a very good position from this point. We'll see an explosion of barracks from this moment because he's got the fantastic setup that he wanted.
Yeah, great
you
economy.
see all the barracks kicking in. He'll probably start to add on more barracks soon, an extra 3 or so. He's having a bit of a look around with scans by the sounds of it, looking for the Spire. Doesn't see it. It's a little bit worrying, of course, if you don't see the Spire come down, but...
Where was the Spire? There it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's in between. He's adding on turrets anyways, because he obviously sees the layer. It's nice if you do spot the Spire, but overall, so far, very good game from DeMusliM, in good position, and in no immediate threat.
It's funny how he can like afford those scans because the 3rd command center was so quick. He's not feeling as pressured to really start dropping mules down absolutely everywhere. So a bit of a free scout from there. Knock-on effects really from this game.
The only mistake DeMusliM can make is forgetting supply depots, which nullify his effect that he's rushed up to. Like, he just needs to hit supply depots, build that army, and you are in a brilliant position.
A little bit of a Ling harassment over here, but 4 Marines should be able to clean that up with minimal losses. Hasn't even lost an SCV yet.
Yeah, like perfect, fine. That's
good stuff.
Totally fine. Hellbats are being added on here. Second factory is missing. Usually you see a second factory would have been added on by now, hence the 600 gas that DeMusliM has in the bank. Would have been nice to be able to spend that.
A lot of Marines. A lot of Marines just being fully committed to. And... a lot of supply depots as well. There's
like
some Widow Mines being added on.
Very important. Mule's coming in.
Where are they? Oh, there they are.
Left-hand side, and they're going to get to this factory here.
Ah, good pickup of a reactor at least. Denies a lot of that Widow Mine production. And, you know, as the game continues on against Ling Bane, Ling Muta, you want to be able to control as much space in the middle of these engagements. And Widow Mines are the key to that.
Well, DeMuslim's adding on his extra production now. And every fight he's going to take is going to be pretty efficient for him because of his upgrades with 2-2 coming in.
Oh, medevac.
And he's fighting off creep, which is always nice. He's got to be careful, though. Does not want to take any severe losses. And if he just kind of maintains the high that he's on and just keep on playing well, then he, you know, could find himself a victory in this map.
Yeah, we're just retreating back now, realizing that, hey, that Mutalisk and Baneling count is probably quite a little bit high there, so doesn't want to fully commit.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to Planetary Fortress the left-hand side of this map, and that's going to be his channel of attack. Make sure that he's defended on the right-hand side and then focus the majority of his waves down this left. But it looks like Nerchio's got a plan for DeMusliM. Well, DeMusliM doesn't quite know this is happening.
Yeah.
And he is very far out of position.
Very far. So much so that he might actually have to go himself. Oh, a lot of SCVs die off from those Banelings. And At least that's a good pickup for him. But again, it's the full counter-attack in full formation.
Yeah, and as long as he gets the 4th, it's okay. But we are coming back with not so many banelings. Oh, okay, I take that back. 19 and DeMusliM's deep on creep. Never want to hear those 2 words together.
No, you do not. That's going to be scary. That one Widowmine has a lot of work ahead of itself. Because Nerchio is fully mobile, fully ready to go. That Widowmine didn't do what it needed to.
2-2's done, though, for the DeMusliM. That does help out in this fight.
Good split back, but it's going to be isolated very soon. The Mutalisk just continued to chase off the Medivacs.
Yeah, he got pushed back there. And now the 4th can be retaken. And it's not the best of position for the DeMusliM being after losing that army. You never want to take severe losses, as mentioned, like that. Because it takes a long time to rebuild.
Really got caught with his pants down over at that 3rd base. Took a lot of damage. Realized he had to actually go for the full-blown counter-attack and didn't really work out too well. Nerchio was hot on his heels and killed it off.
And Nerchio has a window where he's a little bit weaker, only in terms of upgrades. His army size is very nice, and he's going to swing around to this 3rd base. And this is going to be another big blow to DeMusliM. This is a big attack. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
This game's gone from, yeah, he's in really, really good shape to nice counterattack or nice army movement from Nerchio to killing off the army, and DeMusliM struggling to rebuild because he's lost that economy that he had, that he worked so hard on in the early stages and took so many risks to get. He's lost it all.
I mean, there was good preemptive movement there from DeMusliM. He was initially moving this command center over just in case that were to burn down, so he could have set it up quickly. But still, I mean, Nerchio is currently just macroing like a champ off the bases he has.
So DeMusliM needs to calm down a little bit and sit back and rebuild, especially with his 3-3 upgrades coming in. But this is a perfect time for maybe Nerchio to start thinking about throwing the infestation pit down. Maybe start thinking about getting up to hive, but no.
It's just the banelings.
In a confident manner, Nerchio warps in, morphs in 20-odd banelings.
Yeah.
He's going to come crashing through while DeMusliM tries to turtle up to rebuild that army.
You're right. I mean, he could have happily gone up to...
no mines here. This is...
Yeah, this is going to be a bit brutal. That's a lot of banelings, a lot of lings try and catch a lot of this as well. And even if the Thor were to get some volleys on these Mutalisks, it's just too much. It's just overwhelming here.
Yeah, this is very one-sided, this fight. This is Nerchio's fight, and he crushes the economy of DeMusliM once again, who is struggling. There is no Widow Mines for support here. The banelings have free reign, and as you can see, DeMusliM's dropping down, and good game is called. Nerchio takes a very swift 2-0 here.
Yeah.
I'll be back from DeMusliM, as he says to his fans that, do not worry, you'll be fighting, hopefully, in next season's Premier. But he does drop down to Challenger in last place in today's group, and will have to fight within Challenger next season to hopefully get his spot back within that best of 5 that he would play in Challenger.
Yeah, exactly. You have to obviously remember that it's just one best of 5. Just one best of 5. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but of course the people coming up through the qualifiers are also really, really eager for those top Premier spots.
Nerchio, though, just kind of wipes aside DeMusliM as competition from this group and says, come on, Stefano, come at me, bro. Let us rematch once again. And so we will have that kind of classic matchup between Nerchio and Stefano happen once again. The king, the one and only Swarm host man, going up against a guy that just doesn't want to play them, doesn't want to fight against them, and will be wanting to end this as fast as possible.
I hope we have some more games like Habitation Station, because that was fantastic between these two guys.
Yes.
So without further ado, we're going to go to a break, and then when we're back, our final series of the night to find out who moves on to the round of 16 is going to be Nerchio versus Stefano.